Hello, beautiful soul tribe. Welcome to Charmed by Jess. Tonight, we're going to be doing a reading for the weekend coming up, which is the full moon, blood moon, eclipse, or partial eclipse, sorry, which is in Taurus. So I'm not a huge astrology person. I'm still learning all this stuff. So if y'all have some more knowledge than me, please drop it down below. I'd love to learn from y'all. But from what I understand and from what I've read today, it has a lot to do with relationships and transformation around that and bringing in what you want. So, and it's also because it's in Taurus and well, because it's a full moon, a lot of amplified energy is going around. So, I decided to also, not only are we going to do a charm reading and a card pull, but I also brought out my beautiful crystals tonight. So tonight I felt like we really needed to bring in some crystals to help with this. We've got a citrine. Whoops, sorry. So our citrine really helps us amplify our positive thoughts and then also like transform those negative emotions. So I felt like that was pretty important to have during this time. We have tiger's eye, which is, a beautiful grounding stone, but it also really helps repel some negative energies. So you want that around your home and house during all of these like amplified times and energies. We have some beautiful rose quartz, which is all about self-love. So as we focus on our relationships, we can't forget to have a good relationship with ourselves. And as we pull in and manifest what we want and draw in all of these energies, I took out some clear crystal quartz, which is a really good amplifier. So it really can like set those intentions and like push them forward. So I brought out those beautiful stones to join us tonight. This is a general reading, so it is, for the collective. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If there is a charm I pull or something you see in the card that I don't say, trust your intuition, follow your gut. The most important part of this reading is you, my friends. So, because it's, even though I'm doing the reading during the full moon eclipse time period or for that time period, since it's for the collective, whenever this message finds you, there's something in it for you. Without further ado, let's go ahead and center ourselves because I feel like really high energy right now. I know it's a very emotional time for a lot of people. Even though I've been having a lot of trouble with sleep recently, I feel like really amped right now. So let's go ahead. We'll take a couple deep breaths together. We'll go in through the nose. Hold at the top, out through the mouth. Sorry, I should have warned you, so we'll do 3 more. In through the nose. Hold at the top, out through the mouth. In through the nose. Hold at the top, out through the mouth. And one more biggest one yet, in through the nose. Hold, out through the mouth. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with our charms here tonight. I'm going to get some general messages for us, some things we might need to look out for, and then some actions we can take to really take a hold of this energy and amplify it and do what we need to do. So I really, Spirit, Guides, Creator, what are the messages for this collective for this weekend? This is so funny because it's Halloween, so a couple of different things that feel Halloween-y came out, which I think is really funny. So the first charm that came out is that Taurus. So Taurus energy is a really earth energy, which is interesting because I pulled the tiger's eye, that grounding piece. I think this weekend, even though our emotions are going to be really, really high, the general message is to find ways to ground yourself. That might be going outside, taking your shoes off, going for a hike or for a walk. I know around here it's supposed to be pretty warm this weekend, so it would be a perfect time to do that. Go walk in the woods, take a cold shower, do some yoga, do some like squats, some lunges, some like jumping jacks, or whatever to like get yourself back in your body. Because of the amplified energy, sometimes we can get a little disconnected from our bodies. And this is saying, take your time and really make sure you have that. But Taurus is also like very much about sensuality and beauty. So I think, where some of you need to have that grounding piece, I think others of you, this weekend is really going to focus on being the energy of relationships and stuff, bringing some of that sensuality into it. And I think that kind of ties to my reading that I actually did for Thursday morning with the Devil Heart, like that kind of like lusty, sensual, fun, intense energy. So bring some of that, embrace the beauty that you see around yourselves, and as the earth energy, ground. It's interesting that the spider came out upside down, so I'll show you all right side up. So spiders are, I talk a lot about when this charm comes up about the web, because that always stands out for me about this charm, that connectedness, that being the center of things. And I think that kind of, that relates, what I'm getting is that relates to what we're talking about this weekend as well. Being the center, sometimes you need to be the center of that relationship. Don't forget yourself as you draw in and connect with others around you, whether it's friends, family, loved ones. All of those things are relationships. It's not just your love relationship. It's, all of those different pieces. And what I'm hearing is like, don't forget yourself in all of that too. Like all of those are incredibly important. And as you're grounding yourself and finding your beauty and all of that, and as you're developing these goals for your relationships, don't forget yourself. That's that part of the self-love too, huh? And then the last piece, oh, I got a fuzz there, is the Grim Reaper ghost, which very much aligns with this Halloween energy that's coming up, where the veil is thin, and a lot of times people think like, oh, it's bringing of death, and yeah, it absolutely is, and it can be, and I don't think that that's a negative thing this time. This is the death of your old relationships and how you used to function in them, and this weekend is a great time to kind of redefine how you want to be in your relationships, how you want to show up, and the death of how you used to be in those relationships. And I think that's a really powerful message. Thank you, Spirit. Let's go ahead and get some please messages for things that maybe we need to look out for, some things we don't see coming this weekend. What are some things we don't see coming this weekend? This is really funny. So we get two things that are from the ocean, right? So a lot of like water energy. And I think, well, let's go back. Sorry. Coral. We got a nice piece of coral. Coral is very much alive, but can often seem dead and still and stagnant, right? The focus seems to be going in and out a little bit there. So the message here is for things that you don't see coming, is things that look and feel more look that like they're dead, actually have a lot of life left in them. So sometimes we need to peel back some of those layers to really find the life that still exists in those places where maybe they felt really dark for some of you recently. There's still life there. And I'm getting that for some of you, something is going to happen that's like you thought something was dead, done, over, but something's going to happen this weekend where it's going to reignite, And you're going to find that there is still life left there. Something else that you don't see coming, I really love this shell. I don't know how well that's going to come through. I love how it's like, you know, on the one side, it looks complete. It looks really protective. It looks, you know, like impenetrable because it's, you know, it's a hard shell. On the other side, we see all of these different chambers, you know, and I really think that this shell represents for a lot of you being vulnerable, you know, opening yourself up a little bit. You may want to present yourself as this hard outer shell, but when you open up, it's really going to propel some things forward for you. And for others of you, somebody else is going to open up. You're going to find different pieces of someone, of a relationship, of a friendship, family, you know, whatever that relationship is that that you're focusing on creating, redefining. Allow yourself to see these inner chambers. And I think somebody is going to show you those inner chambers, or maybe they wouldn't have before. And our third for what we don't see coming is this beautiful butterfly. So butterfly is the end stage of transformation, right? You know, we go from the egg to the caterpillar to the chrysalis or cocoon to the butterfly, right? And in between that, you know, we become primordial ooze and redevelop into this incredible, beautiful, graceful butterfly. So what you don't see coming this weekend is that through some of these breakthroughs and seeing, you know, the inside of someone, finding some life in what used to feel dead or you thought was maybe dead, you know, there's a chance for some real transformation, not only with yourself, but within your relationships. I think that's awesome. Thank you, Spirit, for guiding us in what we don't see coming this weekend. Can we please get some guidance on some actions we can take to really make the best use of this energy for the weekend? Some actions we can take. Some actions we can take. Find some peace. You know, a lot of our lives are spent going from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. Find some peace in your life. Take a minute to take some deep breaths. Again, ground yourself. And once you do that, you're going to be able to see these relationships much more clearer. Again, for some of you, it's a romantic partnership. For others of you, it's a friendship, you know, or reforming family connections, whatever that is, you know, take a moment to find some peace. And through that peace, you're going to find some clarity. And lastly, we have Virgo. So Virgo energy is, again, another earth energy, you know, so it can be that grounding. But also, you know, like this lady looks like she is just chillaxing and looking good, which I think is really funny. But Virgos are all about being practical, being resourceful, being helpful, being dedicated. You know, I think there's a lot of you who this weekend, some actions you can take is really pulling your resources and getting focused and dedicated on your goal, on where you want to go. You know, for others of you, it really is about that grounding piece. You know, some of you, like, it might feel like a lot of hard work. You know, Virgos are hardworking. It may feel like a lot of hard work, and you might have to put in a little bit of work to see these pieces happen. But what you're going to get is absolutely beautiful. I really have this really good vibe for a lot of you that this weekend is really going to show you some stuff you haven't seen. And, you know, there are some of you who you're going to see these inner chambers and, like, it's going to be time to let go, right? And that's going to lead to a different type of transformation. So I'm getting like a few of you who, even though this message is overall really positive and really powerful, once you kind of dig in to seeing these inside parts and knowing that there's life in that, you might go, I don't like it. And it's time to transform and let go and find your inner peace and really know and be secure in the decisions you make moving forward, that is in alignment for you. Thank you, Spirit, for those messages. We're going to do a card pull, and I'm feeling drawn to do the Sacred Forest, and I might even pull from the Mystical Wisdom deck as well. It depends. I don't know. I kind of feel like doing multiple decks tonight. Oh, geez. And there we have it. Sorry. Hold on, friends. Oh, gosh. So our card for... Actually, two came out. So the top one was actually the Frog Spirit and Renewal. And then the second one was a Daffodil Fairy and New Beginnings. And typically I would only pick one of them, but maybe that means we'll pass on that. So let's start with the Frog Spirit and Renewal. Let's read that card and what that has to say. The Frog Spirit and Renewal. I love the little frog prince down here at the bottom. Some of y'all are going to find your prince or princess. So the Frog Spirit Renewal. A large golden brown frog sits heavy on a lily pad in a still pond as warm, sleepy dusk dissolves into night. Its deep, sonorous song reverberates throughout the rising chirps of crickets. The chorus of the frog is joyous and seems to echo loudly in your soul. A gaggle of tadpoles lurks on the edge of the pond, hidden and safe, waiting and expectant, patience until their metamorphosis occurs. Sorry, that keeps coming in and out. So again, we're talking about some metamorphosis from tadpole to frog, right? That is much like the metamorphosis from caterpillar to butterfly. A frog's 3 stages of development, egg, tadpole, and fully formed amphibian, symbolize renewal, resurrection, and transformation. This card speaks of a profound restoration of your life that is occurring. It's never too late to begin again. If your past was less than successful, remember this: what has occurred does not need to mandate what will occur. You can start fresh and new. However, if you do what you have always done, you will get what you have always gotten. In order to reboot your life, you need to do things in a different way. Abounding good luck is activated and awaiting for you. Reflect on varying symbolism of the frog in different cultures and traditions and see if any of the meanings resonate to you at this time. In ancient Egypt, the frog symbolizes birth and rebirth. In certain Native American traditions, frog medicine is healing by virtue of transformative life. Ancient Celts believe frogs represent healing because of its connection with the water and the way that it transforms from a tadpole to an adult. In China, the frog is a powerful symbol of prosperity and health, childbirth, and good luck. I'm sorry, the cats are playing with papers on the floor. If you hear that, that's what that is. The spirit of the frog says, be willing to release any preconceived notions of how life should unfold. This is the time to be adaptable, be willing to change. Abundance and good fortune will follow. Well, that's awesome. And really that aligns very much with the with the message that we had received earlier. Pardon me, let me take a drink real quick. The second one is the Daffodil Fairy and New Beginnings. I always think of daffodil as spring, so it makes sense that it's the new beginnings, right? Okay, so you feel a tap on your shoulder and in a flash of yellow, you see a daffodil fairy fly by you. In high, sweet voice, she says, "The best is yet to be, and it's time for a new beginning." With glee, you race after her into the forest. That's a beautiful image. I like that. Life goes in cycles, just as spring follows winter, a new cycle beginning in your life. In the phase of the earth, the plants die and the fall. Wow. Reading is not my thing tonight. The plants die in the fall so that there can be new birth in the spring. It's the universal dance of death and rebirth. You know, going back to that grim reaper, death and rebirth. There's no time. There's a time to end and begin, and this is the close. Guys. Thanks for bearing with me with reading tonight. This is the close of one cycle and the beginning of another. We associate the daffodil with spring, as it's one of the first flowers to emerge after the snows. Its shape echoes the feeling of triumphance in the new season, and the colors suggest vitality, radiance, and sunshine. The appearance of this card brings the messages to wipe that slate clean. It's time to release old and start new again. It can be difficult to release familiar routines, situations, or relationships when they no longer empower you. However, your higher self encourages you not to cling to the old, but to set sail into new waters. If you find yourself afraid to let go, Daffodil Fairy urges you to face your fear and allow yourself to stretch in a new direction. The Creator is at your side, and wonderful opportunities will be born in your life. Wholeness occurs when you say yes to both endings and beginnings. The spirit of the Daffodil Fairy says, it's time to start a new project or a new cycle. Life force and vitality are emerging. Release what doesn't serve and support you. Make way for a new start. Success is at hand. It really ties everything together. So I am not going to pull from the other deck because I really feel like that kind of like completes everything. Thank you all for sharing your time and your energy with me. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Spirit, angels, ancestors, everyone who has had input and energy into this reading. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If this reading resonates with you, come check out my Etsy store. I do individual readings, charm readings by Jess. You can find me there. Charm readings by Jess on Facebook. You can find me there. Comment again. I'd love to hear anybody's input on the full moon cycle that we're going through and the energies, how it's showing up, what you're releasing, what you're bringing into your life. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you're feeling drawn to it. Thank you again so much. Much love, much light. Namaste.